Hello everyone, I'm Harry from the Rideshare Guy blog. Today I'm sharing my real experience driving Uber in Miami, Florida in June 2025. Miami is buzzing, sunshine, tourists, and endless ride requests. I spent a full week driving using both Uber and Lyft to see what a full-time driver can really earn here. My goal, find out if driving in this expensive city is actually profitable. I tracked every dollar earned and spent, from fares to gas and tolls. Miami is unique. Tourists heading to the beach, locals commuting, and big events like concerts and games. These all mean more rides, but also more traffic and higher living costs. I'll break down my schedule, earnings, and expenses and share some memorable rides. Plus, I'll compare Miami to Brooklyn, New York, for a broader perspective. By the end, you'll know exactly what it's like to drive Uber in Miami in 2025. Let's dive into the numbers, the people, and the reality of rideshare driving in this city. Whether you're considering driving or just curious, this is the honest truth. Here's what a week behind the wheel in Miami really looks like. To get a true sense of the job, I worked a full-time schedule, 50 hours over 7 days. I didn't just drive 8 hours straight, I targeted the busiest times. Morning rush 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. when people head to work and the airport. Evening rush, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., catching commuters and dinner crowds. On Friday and Saturday I drove late, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., when nightlife peaks. These weekend nights are the most profitable for rideshare drivers. 50 hours is tough, long stretches in the car, constant focus, and lots of new faces. Breaks are essential to stay sharp and safe. Managing your energy is as important as managing your time. This 50-hour week is the foundation for all the numbers I'll share. Remember, the time commitment is key to understanding the earnings. Part-timers will see much lower numbers. My goals show what's possible if you treat this as a full-time profession. With 50 hours logged, let's see what I actually made. Here's the big question. How much did I earn? After 50 hours of driving all over Miami, my total gross income from Uber and Lyft was $1,750. That includes fares, surge pricing, promotions, and tips. Surge pricing on weekend nights made a huge difference. Tips were generous. Miami passengers appreciate good service. Breaking it down, that's $35 per hour on average. Most of my income came from Friday and Saturday nights, late-night airport runs and nightlife trips. Weekdays were steady, but weekends were the real moneymakers. But remember, $1,750 is before expenses. No driver keeps the full amount. Costs are a big part of the story. Next, let's see where that money actually goes. The real profit is what matters. Earning $1,750 feels great, but expenses quickly add up. As an independent contractor, your car is your business, and it costs to run. My biggest expense was fuel, $220 for the week. Miami's gas prices aren't cheap, and I drove a lot of miles. Tolls were another $30 thanks to Miami's many expressways and bridges. So my direct weekly expenses totaled $250. Subtracting that from my gross earnings, my net profit was $1,500. This is the real money I took home before taxes and long-term car maintenance. Other costs, like oil changes, tires, and insurance, shouldn't be ignored, but for this week, $1,500 is the number. It's a strong income for 50 hours of work. The key: track every expense and stay disciplined. Driving in Miami can be profitable, but only if you manage your costs. Don't be fooled by the big gross number. Net profit is what counts. Now let's talk about the people who make every ride unique. Miami's diversity shines through every passenger. Weekday mornings I drove local professionals, quiet, efficient rides to offices in downtown and Brickell. Afternoons and evenings brought tourists, excited, chatty, always asking for recommendations. Being a friendly guide often led to bigger tips. Weekend nights were wild, groups heading to clubs, music blasting, high energy. These rides were the most profitable, with fares sometimes topping $50. My biggest ride? A $105 trip to Hard Rock Stadium, thanks to surge pricing and a generous tip. Every ride had a story. A chef heading to his first day, a grandmother visiting her sister, a student off to graduation. These moments make the job more than just driving. You get a window into people's lives, and sometimes you make their day a little better. The variety keeps things interesting, even during long hours. Miami's mix of locals, tourists, and partygoers means no 2 days are the same. For drivers who enjoy meeting people, it's a rewarding part of the job. The stories and connections are a bonus you can't measure in dollars. But how does Miami compare to another big city? Let's look at Brooklyn. Comparing Miami to Brooklyn, New York reveals big differences. Brooklyn is dense, shorter trips but heavy traffic and constant stoplights. Drivers there do more rides per day, but each fare is usually lower. In Brooklyn, a full-time driver can expect to gross about $1,500 for 50 hours, a bit less than Miami. High-dollar, long-distance fares are rare in Brooklyn. Expenses differ too, fewer tolls, but more wear and tear from stop-and-go traffic and rough roads. Brooklyn driving is more stressful and demanding. Miami offers longer, steadier rides, less stress on your car, and more chances for big fares, especially from tourists and events. The driving style is more relaxed, and the earning potential is slightly higher. If you want high fares and a less hectic pace, Miami has the edge. But both cities require hustle and smart strategy. Your experience will depend on your approach and willingness to work peak hours. Now, is driving in Miami really worth it? After 50 hours on the road, here's my verdict. Driving Uber in Miami in 2025 is worth it, if you're strategic and committed. A net profit of $1,500 for a week is strong, with a $30 net hourly wage. The key is working peak times, especially Friday and Saturday nights. Flexibility and a willingness to work when others play are essential. Good customer service pays off. Tips matter. The job isn't easy. Traffic, high gas prices, and long hours are real challenges. But for disciplined, people-oriented drivers, it's a solid way to earn a living. If you want easy money, this isn't it. Success requires dedication, strategy, and a positive attitude. For the right person, Miami is a fantastic city for rideshare driving. That's the honest truth from a week behind the wheel. Thanks for watching. Drive safe out there.